Hi, I'm Zora and I have Dravet syndrome.
I'm Indira, Zor's mom.
And I'm Mookie, Zor's sister.
Zor was born in 2004, and for the first few months, he was just this super happy, joyful kid, except for the fact that we'd notice he'd blink his eyes or just stare at you and then fall asleep. And it was a family joke that, wow, this kid likes to sleep. Because we had no idea what was going on. There were obviously seizures going on at that time. But when he was 9 months old, I was sleeping with him one night and got up to this bed that was shaking. And I was confused for a few seconds, and then when I looked, it was Zor having a tonic-clonic seizure. Obviously, it was shocking, extremely emotional, and we had to take him to the emergency room and went through a bunch of tests and got no answers. And then we went through 7 years of his life with no real answers other than knowing that he had epilepsy that we couldn't control with medications, till we got sent to Dr. Sullivan. And finally, I think it was about 2012 or something, when we heard of Dravet syndrome, because Dr. Sullivan did the testing and helped us find the cause for his seizures.
When I was little, I liked to rock climb and play with my friends.
Oh yes, you did. He was quite an avid rock climber, and he loved climbing trees, and he loved doing the monkey bars in the playground, and he was actually the only kid in elementary school who could skip a bar. Do you remember that song? Yeah. And of course, he had this phenomenal memory where he would memorize the school directory. So whenever the principal needed anyone's number in elementary school, she didn't need the directory. She would just look for Zor in the playground and say, "Hey Zor, what's Addie's mom's number?" And Zor would rattle it out, freaking most of the other kids out.
I loved going to school, but sometimes I had to miss school because of my seizures.
How'd that make you feel?
Sad.
Yeah, so that started happening a lot more because he started having at least 2 seizures a month. And obviously the next day he wouldn't go to school if it happened at home because he was extremely exhausted. And so till about 3rd grade, Zor was keeping up academically with the class, and a big part of the class, to be honest. But then after that, we started seeing him slowly fall back to where he had to be put into a special day class to accommodate his needs and lack of progression academically to keep up with the rest of the kids. So Dravet positively had a huge impact on his academic career and future.
Yeah, I think something I was always concerned about with Zor at school when I was also in school was when Zor had seizures at school, they would call the ambulance, and the school would not know how to respond and how to keep Zor safe, and also to help mitigate stigma with his classmates. The ambulance would come, he'd be poked and prodded for so many reasons that we don't need, as we know Zor has epilepsy. So that was always a big concern for us every single day. It would be like, oh gosh, did the ambulance get called if he had the seizure at school, or was he just taking care of how he was supposed to be taken care of?
And the worst of these episodes were actually when he was in high school, and they had this job program where he would volunteer at the VA with his friends, and he was doing the dishes there one day and had a seizure, and so fell into this puddle of water, hurt his head, and I got called at work. I had to drop in the middle of seeing a patient, rush to the VA. I got there in about 20 minutes. So it was a big scenario. I had to walk in and literally yell at them and say, just leave the kid alone and move away. And then we had to spend the night at the VA in the emergency room doing multiple MRIs and CT scans, making sure Zor was okay. And all this agitates Zor. Zor doesn't like hospitals. Do you like hospitals, Zor?
I don't think anyone does. I heard about this story. It was a rude awakening for me because the assumption is at hospitals, people know how to keep people like Zor safe. But that's clearly not the case. And even the VA did not know how to properly respond to a seizure. So it was really opened my eyes to the fact that there's a lot of work to be done with awareness with epilepsy and seizures and how to respond to them.
I wish my brain wouldn't slow me down, especially like talk.
Does that bother you when you're with your friends, or?
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that, because whenever we have social gatherings, all his other friends have special needs or not, but they're all chattery and they're having a good time, and Zor wants to be part of the conversation, but by the time he's ready to chime in, they've already moved on. So the delay in expressive speech plays a big part of his social life, or not. I think as he grew up, the presence of seizures in his life just became bigger and bigger, because now his friends were going out to have hangouts, they were going out to watch movies, and Zor always had his mom with him because she wanted him to be safe and not be, alone when he has a seizure.
Yeah, I think something else that we think about a lot now is Zor's finishing up his time at the adult transition program soon, is what's next for Zor. And as someone who's in college and at the forefront of opportunities, I'm really frustrated that there's really no space in adult society for people like Zor and the strengths that Zor has, because he has many strengths. But I think,
Superpowers, I would say.
indeed, which we will preview soon. But yeah, I just wish there were more places where Zor's strengths could be upheld in our society.
I don't like that I can never be alone, even in the shower.
Yeah, and I guess that is also one of the biggest challenges in my life, that I can't have Zor alone for even a second. Even when I'm with him, to be honest, every second of the day I'm worried about when he can fall, because even when I've been right next to him, I haven't been able to save him from multiple falls. It happens so quickly and so unexpectedly. So,
And you could get injured as well.
yeah, but that doesn't even occur to me yet, So, the whole day, wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, even if I'm trying to have fun, at the back of my mind, I'm clutching my phone, because I don't know when I'm going to get the call that he had a seizure and got hurt.
I think as a sibling, something that I kind of view epilepsy as a lot is a drop into a ripple effect of, a pool. And I think Mom did a good job describing that drop in that initial circle. But something that is beyond that, within the ripple effect of it, is that Mom and I have a really hard time building our relationship individually outside of Zor's needs, of course. So, that's something that many families with Dravet syndrome, I think, struggle with. And I hope we can create more discourse on this as well.
One of the hardest parts of having Dravet syndrome is not knowing when I'll have a seizure
And getting hurt?
and getting hurt.
Yeah.
Yep, so that bothers all of us, not only you. So we like to travel as a family, and there are parts of the journey Zor and me have to do by ourselves to go meet Muki wherever she is, and that's always extremely stressful for me, because I don't know when he's going to have a seizure and whether I'll be able to take care of it alone. And to be honest with you, the other thing that really worries me is, what if something happens to me? Who's going to take care of Zor? That bothers me even more. So when we travel alone, which we do a lot, I am on guard the whole time. So that impacts our life. But having said that, Zor's done a bunch of traveling. And how many countries have you been to, Zor? 30.
university. In the future, I hope I don't have seizures and go to college.
I hope so too, Zor.
Yes.
And I think when you go to college, you're going to do amazing with your math and your science skills, right? Do you want to show them your math skills? You do? Okay, go for it, sister.
I think if Zor didn't have Dravet syndrome, he would likely have been a mathematician, and I will show you why. Okay, I've got my phone here to show you guys that he's literally faster than a calculator. Zor, what is 19 times 23?
436.
Get out of here, is that right? Mm-hmm. Okay, he's
When is he
never
been
been
wrong?
wrong
Yeah.
since he was, I think, 3 years old.
It's
And
unreal.
yeah, he also loves the presidents. So Zor, who was president number 9?
William Henry.
William Henry Harris. Good for you.
And another memorization trick of Zor's is, Zor, what's the 37th element?
Rubidium.
How do you keep all this in that brain?
The Dravet Syndrome Foundation gives me hope for a cure.
I would love that. And thank you, the Dravet Syndrome Foundation, for doing everything you do, for even creating this community to start with. What a mission, and there's so much you guys have accomplished that I'm in awe when I saw your newsletter, and just don't have the words. Thank you guys for putting all this time and energy and commitment to help these kids and adults out. I guess you're an adult. And Dr. Sullivan, thank you for telling me about them and helping me to meet them, because not being on social media, I could never have found them on my own.
I'm very grateful to the Dravet Syndrome Foundation, especially because Mom is not on social media. There is really no way for us to build community with other people who have similar issues and feelings as us. So the foundation really gives us hope and a sense of community, that what we deal with is not just our problems, but our community's problems. And that's truly beautiful and special.
And it's just nice to know more people who are in the same boat. Yeah.
Thank you for helping me and my family. I love you, Dr. Sullivan.
That was so cute. Zor, and I'm sure you got a very warm kiss there, Dr. Sullivan. All I can say is thank you to everyone. Thank you very much.
Yes, because of the work you do, we have hope. And I've had the privilege of getting to know some folks at the foundation, and the rigor and commitment that you guys have behind this mission really helps us sleep at night, honestly. To know that there's people fighting for us that are not just us means everything to us.
So I think the saying, hope sustains life, really comes to play over here. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you, Dravet Syndrome Foundation!
Thank you.